Max, welcome to the Sober Side podcast. It's a pleasure to have you, brother. I want to let you do your own introduction. Tell us how old you are, how long you've been clean, and what your drug of choice was.
Thanks, Vance. Thanks for having me. My name is Max. I'm 41 years old. Drug of choice. I've everything. I liked everything. And I'm a little bit over 10 years sober, which is a little verbiage difference because when you're talking clean, you're talking NA program. When you're talking sober, it's the AA program. I qualify for both, but I like to use the word
Clean
sober.
and sober.
I like to use the word sober.
All right.
Most of the time.
Sober. Yeah, I mean, we're the sober side, so it's probably a better word. But
it's just different verbiage in different meetings.
Yeah.
So like when you're going to NA, you use the word clean. When you go into AA, it's the word sober.
Okay.
It's just terminology.
So you've done both. You've done both AA and NA.
I have.
Okay. Which one would you say that resonated better with you?
It depends what years of my life. Early in my life, NA. Later in my life, AA.
Okay. So it's fair to say that alcohol and substances were part of your drugs of choice.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Interesting, man. And have you done like a treatment program or anything like that?
I've been to countless treatment facilities. 13 residential treatments. I'm not sure how many detoxes I've been to. Many different sober livings as well.
Interesting. And back then it was a bit different than it is now, right? It was not the same kind of structure that you have.
Back then it used to be more structure from what I remember. And now from what I understand now, the rehabs are a little bit more laxed. And some of them even let you use like Suboxone inside of them, and some of them give you Special K, from what I understand. Some of them.
Oh, okay.
And they let you
ketamine, basically.
Ketamine, exactly. They let you medicate yourself, and that's how it is now, from what I understand.
Yeah, yeah, man. A lot of treatment centers nowadays are kind of approaching it more of it as a business than to actually really help the person. A lot of things changed since like 2008 or so. So AA, NA did wonders, right? Treatment also part of the, combined effort. Which one would you say was more effective, right? Because
treatment versus AA?
Yeah. So, AA or NA, like
so this is my opinion only. What I'm saying, this is obviously just my opinion.
That's what we want.
Yeah, there's no
right.
Let me get. There's obviously no the best thing that treatment can do for somebody that's like a real alcoholic or addict is introduce them to something they could do after they get out of treatment.
Right, I agree with that completely. So let's get into before we get into your story, let's get a quick kind of like cut of what you're doing right now. Are you involved in the treatment field or anything like that?
I am. I have a business. It's a sober companion business. It's called, could I give it a shout out?
Of course.
It's True North SC Incorporated. Me and my friend Mike, who's also sober. Stacy also asked him to be on this. He's going to be here maybe in 2 weeks or a week or something.
Okay.
Like that. He's a good friend of mine. We started a business because we came from it from a sober point of view, where it's more about the morality of the business instead of the money side of the business. So we feel like we're going to do it right, whatever that means. But we want to do it in order to help people first.
Okay. And you have a website?
Yeah, truenorthscinc.com.
So we'll put it in the description. Check them out. So let's get into your story, man. So we were talking a bit off camera. You told me that you grew up in the valley where we're located right now, San Fernando Valley in California. How was childhood like growing up? And actually tell us a little bit about your cultural background and the contrast of that growing up here.
Oh, yeah, for sure. We moved here when I was 6 from Moscow, Russia. We didn't speak English. I have a brother. We didn't speak English. It was completely a culture shock. Everybody is different. We're different. We don't speak the language. We're dressed different. Grew up. We moved. First, it was like 3 days in New York. Then we moved to St. Louis for 1 year. And then to Van Nuys, California.
Nice. Yeah, Van Nuys is my hometown as well. And How was that growing up, man? Because I'm from a similar part of the world where you're at, but it was a culture shock for me as well. So I want to hear about your experience and how that was, growing up here.
I remember it was Van Nuys Elementary. My brother and I were going to. We're actually twins. I have a twin brother.
Oh wow!
And identical twins. And we would fight all the time at home. So fighting at school was like normal. So whenever anybody would pick on him or me, we would get into fights, and not too much. Maybe once in a while we would get into fights, and it was different because the Hispanic kids would pick on us because we're white and we don't speak English.
Right.
So we'd have to kind of fight a little bit, and then once we got to about third grade, we started picking up English and started making friends. Culturally, I started having friends, and I was embarrassed to have them over at my house because my grandparents would cook them, Russian food, and they didn't understand this kind of stuff.
Right. Borscht and
borscht, like kotlety, like stuff like that, and like pilmeni, and I would just be embarrassed. I'm sure they loved it, but I would be embarrassed.
No, it's really good. I mean, I love Russian food.
Yeah. So now I love it. I go there, and they live in West Hills. I love to go visit them. And
so your grandparents are still around.
Yeah.
Your parents are still around.
My mom lives in D.C., like close to D.C., Maryland. And my dad lives in North Carolina.
Okay. And how was the family dynamic growing up? What was the relationship between your parents like?
It was great growing up. Went to played soccer. My dad and mom took us to soccer games. It was a good dynamic, good family unit. Good family unit until they got a divorce when I was 12. Then it wasn't such a good family unit.
And then so your dad's in North Carolina, mom's in DC, but you stay. Oh, so how did it work out back then? Like who stayed, who left?
So back then we were living in Michigan at the time. My dad got a job in Detroit. He started working for General Motors after he finished occupational center in I think it's Reseda, next to Pierce College, and so he started working for General Motors, and we relocated over there from Van Nuys. And then we started going to school out there, and then they got a divorce. So my mom, myself, and my brother moved back out here to live with my grandparents and her new boyfriend. And he stayed out there. As time progressed, my mom moved to D.C. about 10 years ago with her new boyfriend, and my dad got married in Michigan and moved to North Carolina and brought his my half blood sister and his wife to North Carolina. That's the progression.
Interesting. And how did that affect you growing up? Because divorce is pretty traumatic, for a 12-year-old.
Back then, it was it was hard not to live with my dad, but I liked the guy. He treated us well, and my mom's boyfriend, he treated us well, and I liked flying back and forward between locations. Of course, I miss my dad. I know how it hurt him. I saw that even at 12. I saw it, but it also affected me where. I didn't want to hurt people the way like my mom seemingly hurt my dad, and also the way my dad seemingly hurt my mom. So I kind of carried that through my relationships moving forward in my life.
Interesting. And then where'd you go to high school at?
I went to El Camino until 10th grade.
Okay.
And I got kicked out of there. El Camino's in West Hills. I was kicked out of there. Nothing crazy, just missing school, selling drugs on campus. Well, see, that's another thing. Like to some people, that would be crazy.
Right.
So I moved to Taft. They let me, it's called opportunity transfer in Taft High School. And I got kicked out of there after 2 weeks for the same stuff. And since I've had so many problems and a couple of arrests, they kicked me out of the school district. So I ended up moving to my dad's house in Michigan at the time. And I finished high school out there in this place called Wall Lake Central High School, about a year and a half late. I graduated.
All right. So the drugs entered the scene during high school or?
Drugs between 8th and 9th grade.
Okay.
That's what I remember. The way I remember life is not very linear because I've done, like the way I lived it is kind of crazy. Yeah. I just kind of remember patches. But somewhere around 8th, 9th grade, the weed came in. The alcohol was always there. Growing up in what's your nationality?
Armenian.
So you probably have the same thing as me.
Right.
Like we're drinking from
the ex-Soviets. Yep.
Yeah. from an early age.
Yeah. Vodka's a huge thing for our cultures.
Just family giving champagne or whatever it is on every single holidays, little vodka shots or even cognac to go to sleep as a kid.
Yeah. What's your first memory of alcohol?
My grandpa giving us some on New Year's, maybe around 12, 11 age, giving me and my friends some champagne, and us just wiling out.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then would you say that the alcohol became more occurring as you got older? Like until like high school, like that period?
Alcohol was always persistent, but it was always the hard stuff was the weed and the cocaine was the fun stuff for me. Alcohol was just like a little baseline where I can just get drunk once in a while. Mm-hmm. It was more weed and a little bit of cocaine.
So later down in your story, it became a problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at what age would you say you started smoking weed and like, other things?
Around 12, 13, 14, something like this.
Yeah. And how did that come about? Like, who introduced you to it?
So
how did it happen?
Funny story. My dad took us, my brother and I, to Cancun after the divorce. I ended up stealing a marble weed pipe in some store in Cancun and knowing that I'm going to smoke some weed when I get home. And the next day, a neighbor of mine gave me some weed, and that's the first time I tried weed out of that marble pipe that I stole from Mexico.
So the marble
International thievery.
So did it have weed in it, or it was just like a device to smoke weed with?
It was just a device to smoke weed with. It was a marble pipe that looked like a dolphin, like a little small one. And then I knew I was going to smoke weed when I got home.
Because you knew your neighbor had it?
Yes.
And how did you know that your neighbor had it?
Because he would smoke in front of me once in a while. He was one of those like cool guys that he would just hang out with, play some pool in his garage, and he would smoke and he'd let me drink. My brother and I and a couple of my friends would go hang out there.
And like, who was this guy? Was he like single guy or like?
Just a single, one of those guys that you look up to as a kid.
Yeah.
Like he's got a house, he's got a job, he's got some ladies that come over once in a while, and it's just carefree lifestyle, seemingly carefree lifestyle.
Right.
I looked up to him.
Right. So you go back, you take the dolphin pipe, and he lets you smoke weed.
Yeah, just blaze up.
Yeah.
Blaze up. I don't remember that first how I felt, but I remember it felt good doing it. It felt good. It felt freeing doing it.
So how come you hadn't done it before, hanging out with him while he's smoking, and you hadn't dabbled with it?
I'm not sure. I don't remember.
Okay. So this was at like 12, 13-ish?
Something like this, yeah.
12, 13. So this is what, like 8th grade?
Something like maybe 8th to 9th grade, maybe even 7th.
7th grade.
Maybe even 7th, yeah.
Yeah, 7th grade. So then you like it, and how does that continue? Does it become an everyday thing?
So I find that where I can get it at school, because I bragged about it probably, and I'm pretty sure like I saw him doing it, the neighbor doing it, and I don't want to say his name just because I don't want to put him on blast like that. But
so he's still around.
I'm sure he's still around.
Yeah.
I'm sure he is. I just don't live there anymore.
Yeah.
And I associated weed and alcohol with women, so it was kind of a cool thing. So I found some weed so I can take it to parties, so I can mess around with girls and smoke bud and drink.
And how it was, would you get what you wanted as a result? Would it work?
Not all the time, but yeah.
Okay.
Not all the time, but it got me that sense of like, even if it didn't, to be honest, even if it didn't go the way I wanted, I still had a great time drinking and smoking.
Right. So you're having a great time drinking and smoking, going to parties. This is a good life that you're living at the moment. Mm-hmm. And then how do you get to the point where you're selling drugs and getting kicked out of high school?
Oh, great question. It's just what I call is this progression. So like I would get loaded, and by loaded I mean I would just drink and use with other people, and the people who I thought in the beginning were going harder than I was, kind of settled down and they backed off, and I would and I was starting to miss more and more school. This is a gradual process that happened. I fell in love with the whole scene. The whole scene just fell in love with it. It was, I couldn't live without it anymore. I wanted it to go on forever.
Mm. And your twin brother, was he doing the same thing?
Doing the same thing as I am.
Okay. And he's in recovery as well?
So, funny story. We're twins. So there's a whole thing about like genetics, or whatever it is. He used heroin for about 5 years. He got in trouble once, got arrested, went to jail once, went to rehab once, and hasn't touched anything since then. He was clean. He was in NA for, I think, 3 to 4 years. He stayed clean. And now he drinks. He has a family. He drinks and no problems.
Interesting.
For me, I tried this kind of thing, like just drinking or just smoking weed, or just it doesn't work for me.
Right. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
So would you say that the genetics concept is real, or
from my experience, it's really not. I can't subscribe to that idea because I have a twin brother. It's the same genes, and he drinks like normal.
So you would say it's more psychological?
Probably a little bit of both.
Mm-hmm. That's very interesting. So, so you don't remember how you ended up like starting to sell the drugs? Well,
it was more like I had this like ego coming up that I didn't want to be a customer and I didn't want to pay full price. So I started picking up the slang term. It was zones back in the day, which is ounces. I started picking that up. So I would essentially get to smoke for free, and I would just kind of sell those little baggies off so I could smoke for free. That's how it started. And I wasn't, and I don't want to give a misconception like I was some big time drug dealer. I always did it just to have free stuff. I made some extra money on the side, but it was nothing like, it wasn't no hundreds of thousands of dollars. It was just enough to sustain a habit and go to restaurants every single day and like buy some clothes once in a while.
Okay. So everyone at school is coming to you to basically
not everyone, but a few crowds are, that I let in because I was always scared to get arrested. So I don't want to, I always kind of kept it down.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to move anything more than about a gram or an eighth to one person in particular. So I always kind of kept it down when it came to weed.
And back then the laws were a lot stricter, right? Like weed was like,
you get caught
same level as like cocaine, heroin, like class A or whatever.
It still trips me out that weed is legal.
What do you think about that? What do you think about weed being legal? You think it's medicinal, as they say?
I don't know. I think everything should be legal as long as it's,
You think it should be legal?
Yeah, it should be. It's a trip because, I've gotten arrested for weed before, but I think it should be legal, yeah.
Why do you think it should be illegal?
Well, first, because they could tax it. So I think that the cities can tax it. If alcohol is legal, why not weed? I can go even further. Like, why not heroin?
But don't you think that we should kind of criminalize things that are damaging people?
Yes, but you can argue that point from any stance. Anything could be damaging.
Right. But more so like changing someone's brain chemistry, like alcohol, weed. Because cigarettes obviously are damaging to people, but I don't think it changes someone's brain chemistry to the point where they might end up on the streets because of it, right?
I agree.
So
my thing is if alcohol is legal, why not other substances?
Right. Yeah, that's the main one, right? Like if alcohol is legal, then everything else should be legal, right? Like because alcohol is just as dangerous as heroin is, right?
Debatable. It could be even worse. It's debatable, yeah. Depending who you're talking to.
Right. So not to go off on a tangent, but I want to go back to your story. What was your first arrest like? How did your family react to it?
My first arrest was I got picked up by the cops for skipping school when I was 17, and they took me to a holding station, and my mom picked me up, and she didn't know what to say to me. It was just more like embarrassment, like what is going on here? Because I was a good student. I was like a star athlete. I was a good student. I had friends, and all of a sudden she's picking me up from a station. And it was just more of a nonverbal type of thing. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, disappointment.
Very disappointed, yeah.
How did your father react to that?
He didn't know.
Okay.
He didn't know.
And then how did these arrests progress?
Okay. So what happened was when I started getting arrested, it's scary to be in jail. The first time I went to jail is scary. The second time I got arrested was for I was making an illegal turn. I think I ran over a double solid, and I had a QP in a mason jar. This is when Kush just started coming out. I had a QP in the trunk, and I made an illegal turn, and the car was smelling like weed. And the police officer pulled me over, and he smelled the weed, and he asked me to step out. And I went to jail for the second time, which made it like, okay, I know what I'm doing here now. The third time I got arrested was I got caught with heroin, and it just becomes kind of like, okay, I'm going to jail. Like, okay, it's over. I'm going to jail for a little bit. It became more of that kind of mindset. Like, okay, this is over. This one is over. Let's go sit in jail for a little bit, try to beat this, try to claim alcoholic addict, and get in touch with a rehab that will get you out so you can do diversion or Prop 36, that's what they were doing at the time.
Okay. And how does the weed become, what was the next one after weed?
Cocaine.
So how did you go from weed to cocaine? And
it was just there one day. It was just there one day.
At what age? What was the setting?
I think it was maybe 16 or 17. The setting was I was in Michigan at a party in actual Detroit, Michigan, at a party. I think it was the 17th floor, and there was girls, cocaine, and weed around. And who wouldn't do the cocaine? You'd be nuts not to.
And was everybody doing cocaine?
Everybody was doing. A lot of people were doing ecstasy, and yeah, everybody.
How was that?
Everybody that I was with.
Got it. And how was that first experience of cocaine?
It was a great experience. Again, there were women involved, and I had a great experience. Not to get too detailed, but it was just like one of those like, oh man, this is like I'm living life. Like it was one of those like I've arrived moments. Overlooking a city, girls, money, cocaine, and weed. Not a care in the world.
Okay. And how does cocaine, continue from there?
So I got arrested in Michigan, and I moved to Michigan so I can finish high school.
Right.
So this was like I'm gonna go to a different location. I had all the intentions in the world to do the right thing, right? And right away when I got into school, I found my people, my crowd, and I couldn't, like I want to say I could have helped it, but I really couldn't with that same mindset, because you know how it goes. Like if you go somewhere, you're bringing yourself with you, and I found that same crowd, and cocaine came in, and I got arrested. I finished high school. Cocaine left my story after I got arrested the second time in Michigan, when I had a big fight with my dad, and I had this kind of moment of clarity, I want to call it, where this kind of like I don't want to call it like a God thing, but looking back, it probably was some kind of like white light type of thing, where I had this moment of clarity where like, what am I doing? And I was able to finish probation and finish high school, not doing cocaine.
So were you doing cocaine every day at one point?
Yeah, at one point, yeah.
At
school, for sure at school, because I need to stay awake, because I've been partying all night, sitting by myself, doing blow. And so I have to do it every single day to stay awake and actually go to school, so I can keep up appearances a little bit. And then one day I just had this kind of thing where it's like, this is over. I can't do this anymore. And I did the probation thing. I completed the high school, and I have actually never done cocaine since that day.
And does your dad end up finding out about your activities while you're out in Michigan with him?
Oh yeah, he's the one that drove me to court. And I remember I was so embarrassed of myself. He's driving me to court. He's saying some things that dads should say to their kids.
Right.
And I got really mad at him, and I put my hand on his like shoulder, and I was gonna hit him while he was driving, just because I'm so embarrassed of myself. Like, what am I doing in my life? But, but I expressed it in anger because that's what I'm doing at the time. That's how I'm thinking at the time.
Yeah, I can imagine some of the things a Russian father would say in that moment. But looking back, how would you say that your parents' involvement and that embarrassment that came out of it and that cultural contrast led you to the right direction?
It's a deep question. Deep question. I want to say proud. Like, what am I doing? Because, your mother is this holy figure. Your father is this holy figure. Like, it gives me goosebumps thinking about it.
Right.
Just thinking about this is like I'm hurting these people like this.
Yeah.
And sometimes you want to, when you're living that lifestyle, you want to just stuff it. But you can't stuff that kind of emotion so long. It has to come out. So it played a huge role of me being sober today.
Yeah. So so you stopped the cocaine after the second arrest?
Second arrest in Michigan.
And how did you get arrested? What was that arrest about?
It was just nothing crazy at all. They just found cocaine.
Oh, it was the double lines with a lot of weed in the car and they smelled that, right?
That was out here.
Okay.
That was out here. Over there, I was just going to school and I was doing cocaine in the bathroom, and a cop, like me and a couple of guys, and a cop came in and arrested us.
Wow.
And it's just that simple. That's how it went down. And in Michigan, the schools are enclosed, so there's no openings because of the weather. So we would go and do coke and smoke cigarettes inside of the bathrooms, and this is just our natural, like a daily occurrence. And cop comes in and busts us.
Were there other Russians in Michigan at the time?
There were, but I wasn't. I was hanging out. It was called this group that was called Chaldeans. Like a different group.
Yeah. I'm kind of familiar with Chaldeans. Where are they from? Like,
I think
side note?
they're like Persians.
Okay, yeah. More
faith.
Middle Eastish.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got that. So you get arrested. Your dad's taking you to. So you got arrested actually. So they took you in.
They took me in. My dad came,
picked you up,
picked me up,
and then you had to go to court after that, right?
I had to go to court, and I look white, and I know how to play the game a little bit. I know what to say. I'm not, some guys will cuss at the cops, and I'm not that kind of guy. I know how to put on the face, and that's got me out of prison a few times. So I said the right thing to the judge, and he says okay, and he put me on probation for, I think it was like maybe 7, 8, 10 months, and I had to call a phone number every single day, and if they called my color, I have to go in and take a urine test that day. And I did this, and I completed it. Yeah.
So how was that process of stopping the cocaine after however long that you've been doing it? It was
rough. It was rough because it was one of those moments for me where it was just do or die. Like, I'm either gonna live this crazy lifestyle in Detroit, which is crazy.
Yeah,
it's not the same as here. It's just It's just dirty and just different.
Cold.
Yeah, it's not the same. And or I do this, and I just got really busy. I found a nice girlfriend who wasn't about it and about that lifestyle, and just did school, went to some Detroit Red Wing games, and just kind of just really, really busy.
So it sounds like things were getting better. So where was the dip again?
When I graduated, right? The day I graduated, 3 days after I got off of probation, I got drunk, and because this is the mentality of like an alcoholic addict. Like, I want to celebrate, and what's the best way to celebrate? Do the stuff that gets you into trouble. So I celebrated.
Celebrated with alcohol and weed,
and I knew I was coming back to California, and I was all about this. I was gonna do the right thing. I'm gonna come here. I'm gonna sign up to DeVry University, and I'm gonna do the right thing. I'm not gonna pick up any weed. I just one-time celebration. I'm gonna come back here and just live a normal life, go to school, get like a little job at Target or something like that, and just live my little life. That was the mentality.
So when you were on probation, you had quit weed and everything?
Just weed and alcohol. The alcohol I would still drink a little bit, but not alcoholically. I would just drink here and there. I was able to kind of put on the back burner.
Okay, so how long had you quit smoking weed for?
About 7 months.
7 months. So after that day that you celebrated, you presumably started smoking weed like every day after that?
Every day again. Every day again, with the intentions that I'm only going to do it once.
Very interesting. So you come back, and at this point, you're smoking weed every day, even though you don't want to.
Because it just became normal again. And I went to go sign up to DeVry in West Hills. And my mom put a loan. She took a loan out, and for I think it was like $30,000 for this DeVry University for business management. And I started going to it, and about 2 months later, I wasn't doing it anymore. My brother was dating this girl who was doing heroin, and I started doing heroin.
Wow.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
It just happened, just like that.
You guys just hung out, and she was doing it?
I just smoked some heroin on some foil. Just smoke some heroin. Hey, let me try this. Okay.
What was going through your mind when, that foil was in front of you and you were about to take a hit?
What was going through my mind is she looks fine. She
your brother's girlfriend.
Yeah. Like, and not as in like hot. She was hot, but not as in like that.
Oh, like she looks fine as in
she looks
okay.
Healthy. She's a manager at Radio Shack. She drives a nice Mercedes, stuff like that. And it looks okay. Like, whatever. Let me try this. I've been doing coke and weed. Might as well,
But you hadn't been doing
done
coke
in a long time. But yeah. I've done that, and I kicked it. So the mentality is like,
okay, I can do this.
I can do this, and I can get off it too if I want to. So, but the heroin really brought me down. This is where I started getting arrested multiple times, and the heroin was really like kind of, it got me. It's a lot stronger than me.
So this was again back to California in the Valley, right?
Back to California in the Valley. I'm supposed to be doing the right thing, going to DeVry, and I started smoking heroin. And I quit DeVry. My mom still thinks I'm going there, and I'm not. I'm just hanging out, smoking heroin.
What was the crowd of people like when you were smoking heroin?
So it was we're still 19 at the time, my brother and I. So everybody it was middle class West Hills people. Everybody just, I don't know how to explain that any more than that. It didn't look bad. It looked deceivingly fun.
And how old were they? Were they a bit older or
the same age? Same age, between like 19 and 20.
Okay. Age. And was this at like a party scene, or you guys would just kick it at someone's like house and just?
In the beginning, it was like maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 of us, and then I started dating a girl who's also smoking heroin with, and then we just kind of, it took about 7 months for me to start picking up 25 grams, which is called, I don't know how it's called now, but it's called a piece of heroin.
That's a lot, right?
25 grams, that's a lot.
How long does 25 grams last?
On a good day, I would get rid of it in one day.
Wow.
I was smoking about a gram a day. So I was picking up a piece a day, and this didn't last for about, my first time I got arrested for heroin was like I just finished the sack. I got arrested, and
What sack?
The 25 piece.
Okay.
The 25 grams. I just sold it off, and I had a little bit left for myself because I knew I was gonna re-up, which is pick up more the following day. And I was just hanging out, and me and my girl got arrested. They let her go. They took me in, and I don't remember how much the bail was, but they let me go the next day with like, I forgot what it was, but I got lucky that I didn't get arrested dealing. I got caught with a little bit of heroin. And then I got out with every intention not to get loaded again, and picked up a piece of heroin again.
Interesting. And how much was this 25 grams or?
Well, in the beginning it was $700. By the end, I was getting it for $400, and the grams would go for $60 at that time, and I wouldn't sell more than a gram to a person.
Mm. And was this before the fentanyl got into the scene?
I got sober.
Or this is pure heroin?
It's not pure because in this side it's called like Chiva, or you can call it Carga. Black tar heroin.
Black tar heroin.
It's mostly like Mexican ran.
Mm.
On the East Coast, it's a little bit different. On here, it's black tar heroin, so it's not that pure.
Interesting. And where are you getting the money to buy this? You know?
Well, and I would like I was selling it. I was flipping it. In the beginning, I was flipping because I still had the that go mentality. Like, let me just pick up a piece of heroin, sell it off. I would have, I think, maybe 120 customers at one point picking up heroin for me, anywhere from $5 sacks all the way up to, $80, $100 sacks a day. And my life consisted of waking up. I would get well, which is get right by smoking a bunch. I would cruise around, literally, or drive my car around. People would call me. I would have them follow me for a little bit just to make sure we're not getting tailed. I would pull over somewhere. They would come up to my window and pick up heroin for me, and I'll be on my way to the next customer. And then I would take a break for a little bit, wait for about 3 or 4 more customers to call me, and I would do it again until and I would turn my phone off about 9 p.m. And I would go home and just smoke and chill. I did that lasted for about 8 months, like that.
Mm. And at the peak, how much money were you making doing this?
About 2 G's a day, cash. Which back then was, is a ton of money for a guy like me.
That's still a ton of money.
Yeah, cash.
Yeah. And how would that much cash, looking back at it, affect you?
It gave me a sense of control like crazy. Like, I really bought into my own persona. Like, I had a whole demeanor about it. I would rent cars every single day, like different cars. Like, my favorite one was a 300, the 300 Chrysler when it came out. I love that Magnum too, and the Magnum RT when that came out. I rent those cars every single day and just cruise around and sell drugs. Just looking back at it, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Right. So, why did it only last 8 months? What happened at the 8th month?
I was picking up just a regular re-up. At this point, the guy I was picking up off of I forgot the streets, Barrington, National Sawtelle area on the west side. At this point, for the last 5 months, he was coming to the valley and meeting me up in Reseda. And I guess he was getting tailed by the cops. I was in his car, and I had my regular $400, and I think I had $420 or something like that. And I was going to give it to him in the car, and he was because I liked, usually when you buy heroin, they come in balloons. I don't like small balloons. I like one big balloon. So he was putting it in a bigger balloon. So they come in balloons so that somebody could swallow it if the cops are around you. So the cop pulled up. I got in his back seat, and the cop pulled up. I tossed my all the cash that I had in my pocket. I think it was, I don't know. I think it was like $2,000 or something like this. I tossed in the back of his car. It was a Jeep. And I had nothing on me, and I got arrested in his car. And there goes my good connection. He got arrested, never seen him again. They let me out loitering. It was a loitering charge with some minimal bail that I called my mom, like, hey, Mom, I have some cash in Grandpa's house. You can come bail me out, please. And she did. And at this point, at that point when I was in jail, my mom she was relieved. She was relieved that I was in jail because she knows what I'm doing.
So she's aware of the whole drug dealing.
She's aware, but she can't do anything about it.
How does she find out? How does she know that you're doing this?
She knows, like a mother's intuition, and I've forgotten. She could tell, but and my brother and I were pretty honest with her, we need help, Mom. We need help. This is what we're doing.
What was your brother doing at this time when you were
using heroin? He got out of selling it really quick because he didn't like the criminal element that came with that.
So she bails you out, but you said at the same time she was relieved that you were in jail.
She's always relieved after I got caught because it would give her hope that I would change and I would get my stuff together and and live a normal life.
Okay. So your connect is gone.
Is gone.
What do you do next? You get out of bail, get out on bail pretty easily. So
I get out on bail and of course I know that the detox, the kick is coming, and the kickoff of heroin is pretty bad.
Yeah.
Especially like not only physical but mental too. It's crazy. Right. And I think I lasted maybe 4 days, and I hit up my friend and he got me some heroin, and I got well because I have to get well. And in my head it was I'm only going to smoke a little bit just to get well, and I'm going to do life, whatever that meant at that time. I remember that vividly. I'm just going to do life.
Do life.
I'm just going to do life, bro. Do life. I'm going to live like a normal person. And after that first hit of heroin, that went out, and I found a different connect, which charged me $700 for a piece of heroin, and I started selling again. After you get caught once for selling or in a dealer's car, they watch you a little bit. It's impossible to do this long term. Only the very lucky can get away with it. Everybody gets caught eventually, and I knew this going in, and I got busted again with my girlfriend. They were tailing me. There was a helicopter. I evaded capture like once, actually at random in a car, but the next day they caught me. There was a helicopter. They got me on foot. There was a chase. And,
wow.
And they got me, and I got caught with 13 grams of heroin, a scale. I think it was maybe 16 or 17 G's, 17 grand, and just the whole shebang. And I went to jail, and I went to a place called Wayside. It's a county jail in I forgot the city, close to here. And I was fighting an 8-year case. 8-year case.
So how long was this arrest with the helicopters after being in your drug dealer's car?
This was about 5 months later.
5 months later. Okay. And what happens when you make it to Wayside?
Wayside, I'm detoxing again. And at this point, I'm on methadone too because I really wanted to stay off the heroin. So there's a drug called methadone, and you go there and they give you take-homes, or they give you this little liquid that you drink there. And I'm on 80 milligrams of methadone. I also chipping away at heroin a little bit. 5 months later, So you're finding heroin inside jail? No. This is still before jail.
Chipping. What does chipping mean?
Chipping away means I'm just using a little bit of heroin here and there on the outside before getting busted. So I'm just kind of setting a precedence to how I was in jail. I was detoxing methadone and heroin in jail, which is a crazy kick. I stayed in jail that time for, I think it was 2 months. And my grandpa, my brother, and my mom are going to different rehabs and trying to have people advocate for me to get me out so they could take me in, so that rehab could take me in. And I'm not sure what happened. I forgot what happened. In my mind, it's a haze. I get let out of jail, and this place called, could I say the name of the rehab?
Sure.
This place called Cry Help.
Cry Help.
Yeah.
I mean, we love Cry Help,
yeah,
man.
Great place.
Yeah.
And North Hollywood takes me in it. I was 21 years old. It was my first time in rehab, like a real rehab.
Yeah. No, Cry Help's a good spot for anyone who's looking to get help, especially if they have state insurance. Cry Help is amazing. Shout out Cry Help.
Shout out Cry Help.
So you're at Cry Help, and then they're very structured, right? Like you slip up once, they're kicking you out, right? I don't know if it was like that back then, but
it was back then. And on top of that, the courts gave me, it was an 8-year joint suspension again, saying if I get kicked out or something happens, I'm going to do 8 years in prison.
Okay. So you had to be on your best.
I had to be on.
How does that go? How was your experience at Cry Help?
At Cry Help, it was my first time in rehab. There's people there who are much older than I am, who are much more seasoned in the whole, I want to say game, like the whole, like criminal lifestyle, drug lifestyle than I am. I was just scared. I was scared to be there. I was more scared to be there than I was in jail for some reason. Like, because it was more like a reality, like, oh my God, I'm in rehab. with these people? Like, what am I doing here? Like, how come I couldn't just stop like I did with the coke? Like, what am I doing here? It was more, like one of those like, and I'm sitting there chain smoking cigarettes, looking at everybody, judging everybody. It was one of those like moments for me. I stayed there for 3 months. I completed the program that time.
So you completed, got out. What happened?
Had every intention to do everything right. Again, with that same mindset. And somewhere along the line, I get a girlfriend. I think I got like a little job somewhere, some restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
And I started drinking again, and the drinking leads back to the heroin for me.
So what about the weed? Was there weed going on?
No, once I started doing the hard stuff, the weed kind of disappeared for me. It wasn't like I didn't even want to do it anymore.
Okay. So how much sober time did you have after the first time that you left?
I think it was, I want to say 6 months.
6 months.
Plus minus 2 months. 2 months plus minus 6 months.
I mean, it's a decent amount of time. It's not like nothing,
You're right.
It's not like relapsing right away. So the program worked, like you were.
And I was going to NA meetings. I was that guy who was like coming in a little bit late, being disruptive. Like, I'm there for the girls and I just don't want to be here. I don't want to pray. Like that type of dude, like the cool guy, the cool guy that's, looking back, it's just some scared little fool,
So you started drinking, and the drinking led to the heroin.
Mm-hmm.
Paint a picture for me how that's like after being in treatment, right? Being scared that you're there, getting 6 months clean, plus or minus, and then ending right up into it. Actually, tell me give me a picture of that scene of you relapsing, basically.
I was with my brother and he had heroin. I'm like, hey, let me get some. He's like, no, you shouldn't. I'm like, let me get some, dude. He's like, okay. Just like that.
So how did your whole like mindset change in that moment?
So this is like the $1 million question. How does the mindset change? So I like to say that there's no, I was always going to get loaded again. There's no, I want to say that I had a choice, but deep down inside there was no choice. I was just buying time before my next time I get loaded.
Would you say that you knew deep down inside that you were going to get loaded again while you were still in treatment?
Yes. But I also had that same thing this last time I went to treatment, but I ended up staying sober. But
interesting. So your brother was using, and then you were hanging out with him. He had some, and it was just like
on about
the spark.
About the third or fourth time, let me get it.
Okay, so you said no 1, 2, 3 times.
It wasn't. He didn't offer it. I just knew he had it, and I hate to use this analogy, but you go to the barbershop, you're gonna get the haircut, and I hate this. And
yeah.
And of course, after you're sober for a little bit, you can hang out with certain people and put yourself in certain situations. But early in recovery, probably not a good idea.
Yeah, definitely agree with that. So you're back into heroin.
Mm-hmm.
What is that like? What is that? What did your subconscious tell you like after that first hit, which categorized that relapse?
Here we go again.
Yeah.
Here we go again. There's no like whenever, and I've relapsed so many times. There's no sense of thinking this is crazy. This is going to be different. It's always like, here we go again.
So you kind of like knew you fucked up in that moment.
Yeah. There's no going back. Like, I'm fucked. This is it. Let's do this. Let's do this.
Would you say that there was like a feeling of regret in that moment?
Yeah. The regret comes after the high diminishes for the first time. This crazy remorse comes. This like, oh my God, what am I doing again? What the fuck am I doing again? And then and then it becomes like, fuck it. Just fuck it.
Interesting. So how long does that relapse last?
It lasts about, and they kept getting shorter and shorter for me because I realized that I can just go to rehab. And I went to rehab. I went back to Cry Help, and then I got out of Cry Help, and same thing happened. I went to, between that time and 27, I went to 6 different residential rehabs, 12 different times.
Each one or total 12 times?
Total 12 times.
20 up until age 27.
Up until age 27. After age 27, I went to one rehab when I was 31, and that's when I got sober. And I stayed sober for a year and a half at 27. And then I started drinking at about 29, 30. And at 31, I got sober for the last time.
After the first time, you said, how long did the relapse last for?
It kept getting shorter, but around 5 to 3 months every single time.
Okay. And then how was your probation taking this into consideration, right? Because you're still on probation, right?
Yeah. So with rehabs, they help you get off of probation faster. So it was always kind of cut down. And I remember this one time where I got kicked out of a rehab for a girl. And I had to get into a rehab really fast before I went to court. So I got into a rehab really fast, a place called Beit Teshuva. I got in there real fast before I had to go to court, and they didn't take me to prison. So I kind of played that game for years. Years. With little bouts of sobriety in between. 3 to 4 months sobriety between, stuff like that.
How detrimental would you say your, I don't know if obsession would be a right word, because we're all just guys, right? Like, my girlfriend's going to be watching this, so I don't want to say too much. But, guys like girls, right? Obviously. So how would you say that wanting to be around girls affected your addiction?
In the beginning, a lot. At the end, they were just in the way. People were just in the way. In the beginning, it influenced me a lot. By the end, I didn't care. I just wanted somebody to just be with, so I'm not miserable by myself.
Understood.
If that answers your question.
Yeah. So what I was trying to get to were women an addiction for you?
No.
Okay. Because there's a connection between that, right? A lot of people, want that, and the drugs kind of manipulate that part of someone's psyche and get them involved. So I just wanted to kind of understand you by asking that question. So at age 27, you went to Cry Help, or was this a different place that you went to?
This last time out, at 27.
Where you got the year and a half
At 27, that was Impact in Pasadena, which is also a great place.
Yes, Impact is also a great place.
So I went there and I started working there as a counselor. I called it, not like a legit counselor, but on paper was a counselor, and I stayed for about a year and a half. Yeah. And
then how did you relapse at age 30? You said
at age
29.
I think 29.
29.
I think it's kind of hazy. I don't really remember, but I remember it was like a thing happened where I started working in a different place in sales, and I started because rehab just wasn't work for me. It just wasn't like because I was used to kind of faster money, and rehab just wasn't giving it to me.
Yeah, slow paycheck.
Yeah, just my ego was just too high for that. Yeah. Nothing wrong with working in rehab. Nothing wrong with a small paycheck. Just it wasn't for me at that time. I don't want to make it seem
especially after you're used to selling drugs and you're seeing that.
And that's what I'm contrasting it to. That's what I'm comparing it to. So it just, I wanted to own a rehab, run it, but that wasn't happening. There was no financial backing for me for that, nor experience. So I started in the sales company where I turned out to be good at. Like it was good, and then the money started coming in. So, and I stopped going to meetings. I stopped participating in like anything that had to do with impact programs. And me and my girlfriend were sitting at the time at some sushi restaurant. I had about a year and a half or something like this clean, and we got some sake. And after the sake, we were kind of already, because she's in the program too. She was, I think, 8 or 9 months sober. And we had this little apartment in Valley Village. And we already kind of started bargaining right away. We're not going to drink at home. We're only going to drink when we go out on dates, stuff like that. Like that only alcoholics and addicts do. Like a normal person wouldn't start setting boundaries when they're going to get loaded. They're just, it doesn't work that way because we already know where we're headed.
Interesting. And what happens to you guys after that sushi night?
It progressively got bad. Like I want to compare it to just this slow, screechy, downhill, just emotional roller coaster where it ends with we're addicted to meth at this point. Like meth came in my life. Meth came in my life because I had a friend that was smoking meth at work, and I just picked it up from him one day just because I'm already drinking heavy, and my ability to think is out the door. Let me try this meth thing. So now I have money coming in that's legal. I don't have to sell drugs. I'm smoking meth. I got this hot girl with me who's also smoking meth, and things are just spiraling out of control. Because for an alcoholic, there's no reality where I can get loaded and stay loaded the way I want to for a long period of time. It doesn't happen. There's no reality to that.
So that one sake night at sushi led to everyday drinking and heavy drinking?
Heavy drinking. And this is the first time in my life where I'm like, oh man, alcohol is a problem. Is a problem.
Mm.
And that was like a heavy hit too, because I was like, I would go to AA meetings and I would be like, I'm an addict. I'm not an alcoholic. Like, you people are worse than me. Like that type of situation. Of course, not knowing, looking back, not knowing that it's the same thing. A drug is a drug. Alcohol is a drug.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So alcohol and then the meth. Walk me through what that combination was like, especially after all the times you've been in treatment, plus having a year and a half clean or sober.
Mm-hmm.
How was that like?
As far as I remember, after the meth started, the alcohol kind of went to the side. I don't like to mix. A lot of people like mixing. I don't never liked it. I just focused, one track mind. Let's just do this meth thing. So we started what I call mething around. It just becomes like this crazy thing where I'm going to work, I'm making money. At this point I'm already managing, and I have like salesmen under me. I'm making money, legal money. The girlfriend's at home because she doesn't have to work. She's just smoking meth, and all of a sudden, I can't pay for this. I can't pay for this house anymore. Like, I can't pay for this rent anymore because, like, we're going out and we're buying stuff and doing meth stuff. Like, we're going out to different hotels, like taking little road trips, and I can't pay for this apartment anymore. And at this point, my mom is leaving town. She got this boyfriend, and she's leaving town. That's when she's leaving to North Carolina because he works out there. He works for the government out there on computers. And she's moving, and my brother and I assume payments on her townhouse, and we start paying that thing off, and it was considerably lower than what I was paying rent for. My brother's dating his girlfriend, and I brought my girlfriend with me, and me and her are just smoking meth, and then we break up because there's no reality where a relationship works out where two people are smoking meth for a long period of time. It just doesn't work that way.
At least a healthy one.
There's no such thing as a healthy meth relationship.
Yeah, exactly.
So we break up, and I'm living there by myself. At this point, my brother is getting married. And then all of a sudden he's got a kid on the way. And I'm there just smoking meth and going to work. And that's how that relationship ended.
So how long were you just messing around, as you like to call it?
For about a year and a half.
Year and a half. And there was no alcohol, no heroin, just meth?
Just meth. Just meth.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And at what point did you realize that you were living in a hell?
Good question. Good question. I would call it like the book. There's a part in the book where it calls it like an infernal merry-go-round. Like this just fucking shit. Just what am I doing here? This happens like, and I got the owner of my company, which loves me because I'm making him a lot of money, and we're going fishing together. He tells me like, you got to go to rehab. You have to go to rehab or you can't work here anymore. He fires me. He's like, you're done, bro. You're done. No, he didn't say bro, but he says, you're done. You need to go to 30-day rehab, and then I'll think about giving you a job back. I'm like, okay. And I was kind of grateful for that because I needed like that hell. I needed it to end and I'm not doing it. I can't do it by myself. So I need some kind of outside influence to stop me. So he told me like, you're fired. And I'm like a producer for this company. Like I can't imagine like getting fired. Like, oh my God, this is happening to me. So it took me 2 weeks to get into Cry Help again. And between getting fired and Cry Help, the first week of being fired, that was like hell for me. That was like, oh my God. And I'm begging to Cry Help to take me in. And I have insurance at this time, like real insurance, and they took me in. They didn't give me a detox bed because they couldn't get me in fast enough. So I lied to them and I told them I don't need a detox. So I detoxed just in the residential. Yeah.
And that was it.
That was it.
So what do you do when you come out of Cry Help?
So at Cry Help, I find a sponsor. There's a interesting story. There's a guy that comes in once you're in a complete Cry Help program, you can come pick people up to take them on pass there. And there was a guy that came in taking people on pass that I used to sell heroin to way back when, and he had a year sober at the time. So I asked him to take me on pass, and he introduced me to this group, which I started going to, which is the Sunset Group in Alcoholics Anonymous. It's on in Van Nuys. It meets at 7 p.m. And I asked this guy to sponsor me, and once I get out of Cry Help this last time, I had meetings set up, and I had commitments at these meetings set up. And
Commitments as like to speak and to kind of...
Commitments as in like chairs, set up, clean up, butt cans, greeter, stuff like that. Small little commitments that are kind of ego deflating, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
And I would just do these commitments. And I would just get home at 11 p.m. and I would be tired, but I was sober.
So would you say that the way you maintained sobriety the last time was by making yourself busy, or was there a change in the way you were thinking?
100% busy. There was no change. I was buying time again. I just wanted my job back. In my head, there was no way I'm going to stay sober the rest of my life. I didn't even want to conceive this idea because, like, for a guy like me, 12 steps are not going to work. I don't believe in religion. This is not my kind of, it's not going to work. I'm just buying time.
Why not? Why don't you believe in religion?
I don't know. Just can't grasp it. Can't grasp it.
So what was it? So was it the busyness that really...
In the beginning, yes.
Okay. And then what was it that changed and the mentality change came in?
So even though I didn't believe in this stuff, I kept doing it, taking the action. I went through the steps, did the 4th step, which is like inventory process, did the 5th step, which is like reading that process to your sponsor. And then I started sponsoring guys. I think somewhere around step 5 and step 10 is when I found something that you guys call like some kind of higher power.
Mm-hmm.
Something happened.
About to ask you about
something
that.
happened like this, where I found something that worked for me.
What would you say your higher power is?
It's in the beginning it was very like in the beginning the conception was like you know how Mount Rushmore looks? Like there's like heads. And it was like my sponsor, my grand sponsor, a couple of my friends. And then it kind of transformed into like some kind of cosmic thing I want to believe in. Some kind of like energies type of thing. That's what works for me. Some kind of higher good.
Interesting. And how does this higher good hold you accountable?
Well, I hold myself accountable. That's it. Can you rephrase that question?
Most of the time when the reason why I asked this question is because, like for me, I'm Christian. So I know that whatever I'm doing is under scrutiny, not because, I'm supposed to be a good boy, but because I have a purpose to fulfill.
Okay.
So what is this? So for me, that keeps me accountable, right? The reason why I stay sober, the reason why I have structure in my life is because I'm held accountable to this purpose that I'm supposed to fulfill. So I'm trying to kind of understand how that works for you.
Okay.
Or maybe it might, not even be a concept
It's a concept. I know what you're saying. So the concept is I'm either in AA or I'm not in AA. It's a similar thing. I think it's either I'm trying to help people and live a good life, or I'm not. And I don't think it's like more like good boy or bad boy type of thing. It's more like, how do I choose to live my life today?
Mm-hmm.
And today I choose my life to be like on a brighter side of things. Like, what can I pack into the stream of life, not take?
Mm. And why would you say the brighter side is better?
Man, because I can't. Because look, it's on the other side. Like, it's just better for me. For somebody else, it might not be, but for me, like the way my life is today is beautiful. Like, the way I think is changed, the way I perceive things has changed. Like, I love religion for you. Like, I wish I can grasp it. You know, like I wish I can grasp it. I just it works great. It works the same, I think, as an AA.
And
Gives you like a bigger purpose.
Yeah. But you know, this purpose doesn't have to be subjective, right? Like, we can have objective purposes.
Okay.
What I'm let me rephrase.
Okay.
What do you think the meaning of life is? What is the purpose of life?
I don't know. That's a deep question, bro. Like, as a member of Alcoholics Anonymous, I'm just supposed to help the next person. That's it. Just keep it simple as that. And maybe make AA look attractive.
Serving others.
Serving others.
Yeah. Very simple.
For like leave the place that I was at better than when I came in.
If I'm not mistaken, AA before the higher power was incorporated, it was God, right? You know, I could be mistaken, but correct me if I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But AA is based on the belief in God, specific God, right?
So what happened was this guy came in and he tried to like get Bill, which is one of the founders, to come to this group called the Oxford Groups. Bill couldn't really grasp the whole Christian idea. He didn't like it. It was too God-based. So he created the 12 steps, which are a little more higher power based. It still has a lot of Christian undertones, but it's more open to everybody, all inclusive.
Yeah. And obviously, I think that's great, because recovery is one of those things where it should be accessible and inclusive to anyone, regardless of what they believe in, right? It shouldn't be that you can't get sober just because we disagree on who God is, right?
For sure.
If you were to die today, God forbid, how would you want the world to remember you by?
Good question. I would like the world to remember that I live with like dignity, that I lived honestly, that I did something good for somebody. I want a lot of people to be there and kind of remembered as good, like a good person trying to leave a good example for the next person.
Would you say that you would want to be remembered as someone who fulfilled their purpose?
Yeah, for sure. I want somebody to say, man, that dude helped me in whatever it is. That dude helped me.
And how would you encourage somebody right now, a viewer, for example, who is struggling with addiction, struggling with mental health, is feeling like they're trapped, is feeling like they're in this personal hell, to make the change to go get help?
So it's very hard to have hope without belief, but you can have that. The encouragement is do it even though you don't believe in it, and maybe something will happen.
I love that. Max, thank you for coming.
For sure.
It was a pleasure to have you, man.
For sure. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. I think that was a banger answer that you said.